All-star headliners in our TNT opener, Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks with the NBA's best record. Kawhi Leonard's Raptors have the second best record in the East. They meet for the final time in the regular season, and we announce the All-Star reserves coming up. Man, it is going to be a great night on TNT. Bucks and Raptors in Toronto, then Philly and Golden State in the night. Ooh. TNT NBA tip-off presented by Auto Trader from Studio J in Atlanta. Ernie Johnson, Shaq's here, Kenny's here, Chuck is here. So much going on tonight. Super Bowl week here in Atlanta.
Super Bowl.
Big trade, huge trade we're going to talk about later between the Knicks and the Mavs with Kristaps Porzingis on his way to Dallas. Jordan Brand is in the house as we look ahead to the draft next week.
Wow.
And, of course, the announcement of the All-Star reserves as selected by the coaches voting for players in their own conference. And let's get right to it with the All-Star reserves from the Eastern Conference, starting with Victor Oladipo. Second straight appearance. Of course, he's out with a ruptured right quad tendon. Pacers 25-11 with him, 7-7 without him, giving him 19.6 rebounds and 5 assists. Kyle Lowry is an all-star for the fifth straight time in his 13th season after not making it in his first 8. 14 points a game, 5 rebounds, 9 assists is number 2 in the league. Blake Griffin is an all-star for the first time since 2015. 26 points a game is number 10, also 8 rebounds and 5 assists. His scoring average is his career high. For the first time, Chris Middleton is an all-star.
All right.
The Bucks with multiple all-stars for the first time since 2000-2001. Middleton averaging 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. One another first-timer. How about Ben Simmons of the Sixers? 17 points a game, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 8 triple-doubles, tied for second in the league. Philly with multiple all-stars for the first time since 2001-2002. Bradley Beal, second straight in his 7th season. 25 points a game is number 12. 41 20-point games is the most in the East. He's had 2 40-point triple-doubles this season. And the last name is that of Nikola Vucevic. His first appearance in his 8th season. The first Magic All-Star since Dwight Howard in 2011 and 12. 21 points a game, 12 rebounds is number 10, and 4 assists for Nik Vucevic, a first-time All-Star. And so there you see the reserves in the East. And initial impressions when you look at that, Kenny?
I would say everyone on there I would agree with. And I think that these guys have really excelled individually. Maybe with the exception of one with the Detroit Pistons and Orlando, in fact, propelling their teams up to higher. But Vucevic has been something incredible down there in Orlando, despite all of the circumstances going on.
And they're 20-28 and number 11 in the East. When you look at how things shook out compared to how we predicted it last week, if you look at the East, Shaq and Kenny and I, we got them all.
I was about to say, we did?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, good. I was about to say, I was like, man.
Of course we did.
The only thing, I mean.
That's why I liked it, Ernie, when you asked me.
And the only other one was you had Spencer Dinwiddie, who you would have had on the team, Chuck, instead of Vucevic. But otherwise, everything is.
Well, what happened with D'Angelo Russell?
He did not make it.
But
here's the deal. Who should replace Victor Oladipo?
Well, I understand that, but he should have made it anyway.
You think so?
Yeah.
Over
who? No.
Over who?
Over anybody. Listen, D'Angelo Russell has been fantastic. This has probably been it. No, I mean, the Nuggets are playing fantastic, but the Brooklyn Nets have been a surprise team.
26-23, number 6 in the East.
I think he will make it, though.
But he should have made it first time, Kenny. Like, first of all, you had it with me.
No, I had him.
I had him in because Victor Oladipo.
No. But I'm saying we all agreed.
We all took 8. We all took 8.
But I'm saying, so you agree with me?
No, I had Oladipo, and then I had replacement Russell.
Okay,
that's what I had.
Okay, but I had him on the original. He should have made it, in my opinion.
I'm really happy.
He will make it.
I'm really happy for Chris Middleton. Fabulous player. Really helping out the Greek Freak a lot. Can create his own shot. and really can do a lot with the ball. I'm really happy for him. I have to disagree with you with D'Angelo Russell, playing good but not playing at the All-Star level yet. Almost, but not yet.
That's why you think he'll get voted in.
No, but he will. He will.
But Shaq, if your team is number 6 in the Eastern Conference and you were not even expected to make the playoffs, you got to reward that guy. And I love Dinwiddie, but D'Angelo Russell, because we reward winning. Nobody picked the Brooklyn Nets to make the playoffs. They're the number 6 seed. They're not the number 8 seed.
So you would pick him over Vucevic, that's what you're saying?
I don't like to say, because I don't want to rain on anybody his parade, but I'm just saying, D'Angelo Russell, he's probably going to get in, but I would love to see
and make it from the start.
Yes.
Okay. And it's interesting to see when this shakes out, when you see how the coaches make the selections, and then you compare it with how the players see things. I mean, they had Jason Tatum and Jimmy Butler as 4th and 5th in the front court in the Eastern Conference, neither of them getting a nod from the coaches in the
Well, Jimmy Butler wasn't going to get one from the coaches.
No, that is absolutely.
I don't think he's going to get a note from his own coach.
That is absolutely true. But you look at other guys. I mean, Eric Bledsoe's having a good year for Milwaukee. You were in a situation with the Bucks with the best record in the Eastern Conference. Who's your second guy going to be? Middleton's having a great year. Bledsoe, Brogdon. I mean, they've got guys who were under consideration, obviously.
Well, to me, I'm happy for Middleton, like Shaq said, because here's a guy. There's so many good players in this league who never make the All-Star team because the fans gonna, number one, I'm glad we took a lot from the fans. They just vote for perennials. Mm-hmm. A guy like Chris Middleton, who's been a hell of a player his whole career, I'm happy for him.
No doubt. We have some reaction, I guess, that when players got the word. Kyle Lowry. Yes, there you go. Very subdued. But for a team like Toronto getting their second, and here is Chris Middleton.
That's also
that's the first time I've ever seen him smile.
I've
never seen him smile.
But see, kid, just look at the joy on his face, man.
No question.
Started his career with Detroit, was the number 39 pick, and traded to Milwaukee with Brandon Knight in the Brandon Jennings deal. Those are the two bigger names, and now Middleton, an All-Star for the first time. Congrats, Chris.
Good for all these guys.
The reserves in the West.
There is Blake Griffin getting shots up. Will he be named a reserve for All-Star Weekend? We're going to find that out shortly. In fact, around 7 o'clock, you can turn into TNT where you'll find that out for sure.
It's cold, boss.
It's so
That
cold.
means it's cold.
Top 2 teams in the East, one known for his offensive firepower, leading the NBA in scoring, while the other is known for defense.
No, Giannis said, nah, I'm so
Giannis
chilly
bringing
right
the heat.
now.
Giannis bringing the heat.
Yeah, I see you, Snell, with the Scully.
Oh, yeah, they both bringing the heat tonight. Both
Thought, make
separated by half
I'll
man.
trade for you, Thought. I'll trade for you.
And
What's Jordan Bell doing?
hey, y'all remember the celebration of the championship?
Yeah.
Still legendary.
Oh,
He's
that's
still
what
out in
that
these
is.
streets, though. Fast forward to present day, that is Mr. Bell, Golden State, out there on the runway to ref and check.
Hey,
So,
at least I know it's not cold there because he got them short shorts on.
Hey, hit them folks one time.
You guys are going to ask about the trade. I can't really talk about it until the trade call is done. According to what I've heard, that could be sometime around 6 o'clock Eastern time. Could be a few minutes earlier. Could be afterwards. Other than that, really can't comment on it.
A blockbuster 6-player trade that you might not have been expecting. Chris Porzingis in a 7-player deal going to the Dallas Mavericks. Got Kenny Jet Smith here, Mr. Players Only, Dennis 3D Scott. We're going to chop it up about all of this, get to the bottom, see who won the deal. This trade right here that broke this afternoon. Of course, you're now rocking with the best officially. Ro Parrish here along with the aforementioned esteemed colleagues of mine, Kenny Jet Smith, Dennis 3D Scott, Players Only.
Real quick, Ro, can you explain to our fans and viewers, though, why Porzingis didn't get traded versus Anthony Davis and his representation getting traded? Because, Kenny, when that happened, I was like, wait a minute, why does Anthony Davis get traded? I don't remember Carmelo getting fined. I don't remember Kyrie getting fined when he asked to be traded. So explain to people so they understand why the difference on this trade while no one's in this uproar for Porzingis?
So basically breaking down like 3D asked me to do, when you go to your agent and put out an official press release releasing it to the media, that's why the NBA chose to fine Anthony Davis $50K earlier on Monday for requesting a trade publicly.
He had to do that, though.
Why did he have to do it?
Because Anthony Davis is in a different position. He's in a position of trying to let everyone know that he's given the Hornets an opportunity to make a trade and get the Pelicans rather, to make a trade, and New Orleans to make a trade and get assets back. If he did not do that, he could have looked selfish and said, oh, I'm just waiting, and then I don't go to the team I possibly want to play with, and then go somewhere else. So now it gives the true teams that he would actually sign with the opportunity to do it, and it makes everyone a little bit better, and he'll take the $50,000 fine for that.
We talk about making everybody better. Let's talk about this deal right here that's on the table and see who it makes better or break it down.
This was crazy, man.
You see the Knicks, they received Jordan, Matthews, Dennis Smith Jr., and 2 first-round draft picks. Meanwhile, the Mavericks get Trey Burke, Courtney Lee, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Mr. Unicorn. So looking at this deal right now.
I didn't realize Courtney Lee was involved too.
Yeah. Well, hey.
That's serviceable, yeah,
Trey
serviceable. Trey Burks played better, kind of rejuvenated, so to speak.
Resurrected his career with the Knicks.
We know what Tim Hardaway Jr. does, Kenny. He knocks down shots. And now the question is, how healthy is Porzingis? Will he play this year now, Kenny? Was he setting out? Was New York Knicks holding him out? So that type of stuff for me needs to come out now, Kenny, and say, yes, the physical, we're going to go through all that process, see where his leg is and so forth. But right now, Kenny, Dallas looks pretty good in this deal.
Pretty good. I mean, you would say, forget the guys there, Luka Doncic.
Yes. Yes.
You have possibly the youngest up-and-coming superstar, not star. The difference between an all-star and superstar. Luka has a chance to be a superstar. And you're adding Porzingis, who has a chance to be not an all-star, but a superstar. So you're putting in the West the dimension of what everyone else around the West has.
Yeah.
So you look at Golden State, you look at the Lakers, what they're trying to do, and everyone else is trying to blend. They're saying, okay, Golden State, when you have that fall off, and one of those guys leave, now we're right there, because you can't really put a team together to compete with Golden State every night.
Right.
But you have to be the one ready when Golden State leaves. When Boogie leaves next year, maybe one of those free agents leave, and all of a sudden we're in the mix. You cannot compete with the current team. So they understand that, I think, and then put in Tim Hardaway as the 3rd or 4th best player on your team.
Another shot maker for
But with the Knicks, he's your best player right now. And now he's their 4th best player possibly at times. That, to me, I would say right away. And the Knicks would just say, hey, we're going for free agency.
I'm glad that you brought up that point, because that is how we do in TV. We segue, looking at free agency, the potential free agents.
That's a big gamble.
Available. Now,
huge gamble.
If the 2 players away, talking about Wesley Matthews and DeAndre Jordan, that could potentially create $74 million in cap space available for the Knicks to potentially bring in one of these.
Kemba's going home. Kemba's going home, Kenny.
Think so?
Well,
I'm just saying.
But no, you think about this. Can you leave that picture up for 1 second? Can we put that picture back for 1 second? Because
I don't think KD and Clay are never going. I don't think they're going to stiff the mark.
But think about this. Okay, let's say KD and Clay and Kawhi Leonard stay where they are, and your 2 free agents are Kemba Walker and Jimmy Butler. You're not better than with KP, with Porzingis.
Exactly.
So you have to. This is a huge gamble, hoping that a Kevin Durant, a Leonard, a Kyrie Irving and a Klay Thompson, someone else is coming to your team. That's a huge gamble. That's a gamble I don't know if I could have taken at this point. Yeah, it's just a huge gamble. I'll just leave it as that.
Well, I mean,
looking
back at the Knicks over the years, they've gambled a lot this summer of 2010.
And they've been coming up short every year.
So they signed Amari Stoudemire in 2010.
They got an old Amari. They got a banged up Amari.
Yeah, they did.
The Knicks have been doing really, Steve Mills and Scott have been doing some really good things. This is a huge gamble that
you know, you're swinging for the fences. And you have to understand what the climate is of the free agencies, what free agent players are. You have to have your ear to the street. You have to have your ear to the gym. And you have to have your ear to the families. So you have to know a lot to make a move like this, knowing that there is a real strong possibility of what guys are feeling internally.
Right.
Because this is an internal feeling. Because, you know, you look at Paul George last year.
Yep.
This guy turned down the Los Angeles Lakers, the storied franchise in the city that is just offers everything that he has, a hometown product, and he stays in Oklahoma. So to make a gamble like this, to me, that the Paul George of last year would make me hesitate on gambling and say, no, I'm gonna trade for someone.
Right.
To get them in and convince them to stay before I try to get them in free agency.
Well, the trade that is yet to happen is the one where Anthony Davis exits the Pelicans. The
he's out.
It hasn't taken place just yet, but Alvin Gentry, he's already over it.
To me, to be honest with you, it really pisses me off, if you want to know the truth, if you want me to speak in layman's terms. Because you should ask us if we feel like second-class citizens. And I can tell you right now, that is the farthest from the truth there is. There is nothing that we ask for or we want or anything that they won't give us and Mrs. B won't give us to try to help us win games. So whoever wrote that, you know, you're actually full of shit, if you want to know the truth.
Earmuffs, kiddies. So when you hear him say it's like we're a second-class franchise organization, what is that? How do you react to hearing
7 years, man? Like, I think it was 7 years he's been in. 7 years is is that mark for most great players, and they say either I'm going to be here for the rest of my career, or I'm going to move. It has nothing to do with. I don't even think the New Orleans Pelicans being a second-class organization has nothing to do with that. Mm-hmm. You know, they treated him with the utmost respect. They brought in Boogie Cousins last year. They brought in Nurkic. They brought in Rondo. They signed Holiday. You know, they have made some moves that would be, you know, could possibly put him in position, but it just hasn't. So he's saying this is the 7-year mark, and that is the indicator. I don't even know off the top of my head when Chris Webber was a free agent, when Akeem Olajuwon, like all of these guys from the past, and now you bring LeBron James in his 7th year. What did he like? That's the year when guys say, "I'm gonna stay here forever," or "I'm gonna leave."
And that last point, I think this past year by not bringing back Rondo, we know Boogie's injury kind of made everyone hesitant. I think if you'd have done a few more things, to Kenny's point, and after talking to Rich Paul at the game the other night, that was a deciding factor. In year 7, you're not making the moves that makes us feel comfortable that we want to stay here for our whole career. That's why Rich Paul did what he did.
Well, it makes sense so far in those 7 seasons. The Pelicans have only made it to the postseason twice.
I don't even think it's the moves, though, and D. I don't think it's the moves that they make. Because I think those moves that they made, they were going for it, in a sense. It just didn't work out. Now, it's like, you tried, but it just, you know, that wasn't the girl I wanted to take to the prom. Or I even could get to I couldn't even get a prom invitation. Because I didn't get to the playoffs.
You couldn't get to the dinner,
So now it didn't work out. It doesn't have anything to do that you didn't do all of the things. You bought the flowers, you bought the candy, you set up the limousine. It's just nobody, you opened the limousine and nobody was in it. You know, no playoff was inside of that limousine.
Right.
3D, any more prom day commentary?
No, I think we hit on the head. I just wanted to make sure the casual fan understood.
No doubt.
We got so much, you know, Twitter, oh, how come all this guy get fined and that? I just want everyone to understand why the process was the way it was.
Well, that's what we're here for, to give you knowledge, everything. Trade Deadline Show is coming up. We're going to have it here for you. Make sure you keep it locked on NBA TV, February 6th.
When is that? Man, I might come in for that.
I mean, you might have to, Jack.
I might just fly in early for that.
I mean, you might as well. Back-to-back Thursday and Wednesday, we got you covered. Check the times are on your screen. But tonight, that's Giannis. You know, the Bucks have gone 11-3 in January, tied for the best mark in the NBA. They visit the Raptors, who have the second-best record at home in the East, 21-4. Who's going to win tonight? It's on TNT.
He'll never get traded.